In Jackson, Michigan, some couples are more than just neighbors, they are landmarks, familiar faces that define the town's welcoming spirit. Kip and Patty Arts were one such couple. To everyone who knew them, they were the embodiment of a perfect partnership, a duo whose love story seemed as wholesome as the American dream itself. They were not just residents, they were pillars of the community, known for their warmth, generosity, and the successful family restaurant that had become a local institution. Their life appeared to be an open book, filled with chapters of hard work, shared laughter, and unwavering dedication to each other and their town. Kip and Patty had built their lives from the ground up, their hands and hearts invested in every venture. Their restaurant, a cozy spot known for good food and even better company, was the heart of their world. It was where they greeted customers by name and treated their staff like family. Patty, with her infectious smile and gentle demeanor, was the welcoming face that made everyone feel at home. Kip, the hardworking businessman, was the steady hand behind the scenes. Together, they created a space that was more than just a place to eat. It was a gathering spot where friendships were forged and memories were made, reflecting the couple's own seemingly unbreakable bond. Their reputation extended far beyond the walls of their restaurant. The Arts were active in local charities, always willing to lend a hand or sponsor an event. They were the couple you'd see at every town fair, every school fundraiser, their presence a comforting constant in the rhythm of Jackson life. Friends and neighbors admired their partnership, viewing it as a model of mutual respect and affection. They seemed to have it all: a thriving business, a close-knit circle of friends, and a love that had weathered the tests of time. Their story was one of success and contentment, a picture-perfect narrative that gave no hint of the darkness that was lurking just beneath the surface. To an outsider, and even to those who knew them well, the idea that anything could be wrong in the Arts household was simply unthinkable. They were the all-American couple, living a life that many aspired to. Their home was a place of warmth, their business a source of community pride, and their relationship a beacon of stability. No one could have imagined that this idyllic facade was about to be shattered, revealing a chilling reality that would leave their town reeling. The story of Kip and Patty Arts was a testament to how little we can truly know about what happens behind closed doors, even in the lives of those we think we know best. Life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges, and for the Arts family, that challenge came in the form of a serious health crisis. Kip underwent major brain surgery to remove a tumor, a procedure that, while medically successful, seemed to cast a long and ominous shadow over their lives. The man who returned home was not the same man Patty had married. Friends and family began to notice subtle, then more pronounced changes in his personality. The once easygoing and amiable Kip became prone to irritability, mood swings, and fits of anger that seemed to come out of nowhere, creating an unsettling atmosphere in what was once a harmonious home. The surgery, intended to save his life, appeared to have altered its very fabric. Kip's behavior grew increasingly erratic and unpredictable. He became more controlling, his temper flaring over the smallest of things. The easy laughter that had once filled their home was replaced by a growing tension, a palpable sense of unease that Patty found herself navigating daily. She confided in close friends and family, expressing her concern and confusion over the man her husband had become. The partnership that had once been her greatest source of strength was now a source of constant stress and anxiety, as she struggled to cope with the stranger living in her home. This transformation was not just confined to their private life. It began to seep into their business as well. Employees at the restaurant noticed the shift in Kip's demeanor. He was often short-tempered with staff, his decisions sometimes impulsive and irrational. The warm, family-like atmosphere they had all cherished began to erode under the weight of his volatile moods. Patty did her best to smooth things over, to present a united front, but the strain was visible. She was walking on eggshells, trying to manage both a business and a husband who was becoming increasingly difficult and distant, a stark contrast to the partner she had known for years. The perfect picture had started to crack. The love story that had once been the envy of the town was now fraught with hidden turmoil. Patty found herself isolated, trying to hold together a life that was fracturing from within. The man she loved was still there physically, but the personality she knew, the gentle and supportive partner, seemed to have vanished after the surgery. This slow, creeping change set the stage for a tragedy no one could have foreseen. The shadow that had fallen over the Arts household was growing darker, and soon, it would consume everything in its path. In the quiet rhythm of Jackson, Michigan, Patty Arts was a constant, a familiar and reassuring presence, so when she suddenly disappeared, her absence was immediately and profoundly felt. It began with missed appointments and unreturned phone calls, small deviations from her dependable routine that quickly raised alarms among her friends and family. Patty was not the kind of person to simply drop off the map. She was meticulous, responsible, and deeply connected to her loved ones. Her silence was not just unusual, it was deeply unsettling, a jarring note in the otherwise predictable melody of her life. The community began to whisper, their concern growing with each passing day. Kip's explanation for his wife's sudden absence did little to quell the rising tide of worry. He told concerned friends and employees that Patty had decided to take an impromptu trip to Florida, seeking a much-needed break from the stresses of life. He claimed she needed time to herself and had left without much notice. However, his story was riddled with inconsistencies that only fueled suspicion. He gave conflicting accounts of when she left, how she traveled, and why she had gone. For those who knew Patty well, the idea of her leaving without a word to her closest friends or her beloved family was simply unbelievable. The clues, or lack thereof, made her disappearance even more mysterious. Patty's car was still parked at their home, her purse and personal belongings seemingly left behind. Her cell phone went straight to voicemail, and her bank account showed no activity. It was as if she had vanished into thin air, leaving behind the entire infrastructure of her life. Neighbors also reported strange activity around the Arts' home. Some recalled seeing Kip acting oddly, cleaning his car at unusual hours and appearing more agitated than usual. These small, seemingly insignificant details began to form a disturbing pattern, painting a picture that was far from the simple vacation story Kip was telling. As days turned into a week, the community's concern morphed into genuine fear. Patty's friends, refusing to accept Kip's casual explanations, decided that they could not wait any longer. They knew in their hearts that something was terribly wrong. Patty would never abandon her life, her business, and the people she loved without a word. Her disappearance was a complete departure from her character, a vanishing act that made no sense. It was this collective unease and the steadfast conviction of her friends that finally prompted the call to the police, a call that would set in motion a chain of events that would horrify the entire town. What began as a standard welfare check, a routine procedure prompted by the concerns of worried friends, quickly escalated into something far more sinister. When officers from the Jackson Police Department arrived at the Arts' home, they were met by Kip, who appeared calm, almost nonchalant. He repeated the story he had been telling everyone. Patty was on vacation in Florida, enjoying some time away. He was cooperative, inviting the officers inside to look around, confident that their search would turn up nothing to contradict his narrative. He seemed to believe he had all the answers, but the house itself was beginning to tell a different story. As the officers moved through the home, their initial observations raised immediate red flags. The house was orderly, almost too orderly, as if it had been meticulously cleaned and staged. Despite Kip's claim that his wife was on an extended trip, her car was still in the driveway. Inside, they found her purse, her identification, and her cell phone, items any person would almost certainly take with them on a vacation, especially one taken on a whim. These inconsistencies between Kip's story and the physical evidence were small but significant, piling up to create a growing sense of suspicion. The officers' instincts told them this was no ordinary missing person case. The search of the home uncovered more oddities that deepened the mystery. In the master bedroom, investigators noticed something peculiar. The mattress was missing its cover, and a section of the carpet underneath the bed appeared to have been recently and deliberately cut away. It was a glaringly unusual detail in an otherwise pristine room. Why would someone remove a piece of carpet from under a bed? The question hung in the air, a silent testament to a secret the house was trying to keep. The scene felt less like the home of a vacationing couple and more like a carefully sanitized environment, scrubbed clean of some unseen event. This initial visit transformed the nature of the investigation. The officers left the Arts residence that day with a profound sense of unease, their minds racing with unanswered questions. The welfare check had failed to locate Patty, but it had succeeded in uncovering a scene fraught with inconsistencies and strange clues. Kip's calm demeanor now seemed less like that of a concerned husband and more like a calculated performance. The missing mattress cover and the excised piece of carpet were not just oddities, they were potential signs of a violent struggle and a desperate attempt to conceal it. The sinister scene inside the home had turned a missing person inquiry into a potential criminal investigation. With suspicions mounting, investigators brought Kip Arts in for a formal interview. They hoped to clarify the inconsistencies and get a clearer picture of Patty's disappearance. Seated in the stark environment of an interrogation room, Kip stuck to his story. But the foundation of his lie was beginning to crumble under the weight of detailed questioning. He provided vague and conflicting timelines about Patty's supposed trip to Florida. First, he claimed she flew, then he suggested she took a bus. He couldn't name the city she was visiting or provide any contact information. Each answer seemed to create more questions, and his composure began to fray at the edges. Detectives methodically dismantled his narrative, presenting him with the facts they had already gathered. They questioned him about the items left behind: her purse, her ID, her phone. They asked why her car was still at the house if she had driven to a bus station or airport. Kip's explanations grew increasingly convoluted and implausible. He suggested she had friends who helped her, that she wanted to be completely off the grid. But his story lacked the simple logic of truth. The investigators' persistent, calm questioning exposed the narrative for what it was: a poorly constructed fabrication designed to mislead them and buy him time. The turning point in the interview came when detectives confronted him with the physical evidence from the house, particularly the missing piece of carpet from the bedroom. They asked him to explain it, and for the first time, Kip's confident facade shattered completely. He became visibly agitated, his story shifting dramatically. He abandoned the Florida vacation tale and claimed that Patty had simply left him. He then offered a bizarre and convoluted explanation for the carpet, stating that he had accidentally spilled nail polish remover on it and had cut out the stained section to repair it. The explanation was as unconvincing as it was strange, further solidifying the detective's belief that he was hiding a terrible secret. Kip's web of lies was unraveling, thread by thread. His inability to provide a coherent, consistent account of his wife's whereabouts, coupled with his flimsy explanations for the suspicious evidence, moved him from being a concerned husband to the primary suspect in her disappearance. He had failed to realize that every lie he told was another piece of evidence against him. The interview concluded not with answers, but with a clear direction for the investigation. Police were no longer just looking for a missing woman. They were now investigating a potential homicide, and their focus was squarely on the man who seemed to be trying so desperately to cover his tracks. Perfect. The investigation expanded from the Arts' home to the place where they had spent most of their lives together, their family restaurant. Investigators believed that if Kip was trying to conceal a crime, he might have used the resources and spaces available to him at his place of business. The restaurant, once a symbol of the couple's success and community spirit, was now viewed through a different lens, as a potential secondary crime scene. They secured the premises and prepared to conduct a thorough forensic search, hoping to uncover clues that Kip might have overlooked in his haste to construct his false narrative. As forensic teams descended on the restaurant, employees and friends began to come forward with stories that added new layers to the investigation. They spoke of the growing tension between Kip and Patty in the months leading up to her disappearance. Staff members recounted incidents of Kip's increasingly volatile temper, describing how he would publicly belittle Patty, undermining her in front of the people who worked for them. These accounts painted a picture of a marriage that was far from the perfect image the couple projected. The secrets of their troubled relationship, long hidden beneath a carefully maintained surface, were now coming to light. Witnesses also reported more of Kip's strange behavior in the days following Patty's disappearance. A close friend of Patty's told police that Kip had called him, asking for advice on how to remove bloodstains from carpeting, a chilling detail that directly contradicted Kip's nail polish remover story. Another employee recalled seeing Kip at the restaurant late at night, engaging in unusual cleaning activities in the kitchen and dumpster area. These individual observations, when pieced together, created a timeline of suspicious actions that coincided perfectly with the period when Patty went missing. Kip was not just a liar, he was a man whose actions screamed guilt. The search of the restaurant itself began to yield critical information. While the public areas were clean, investigators focused on the behind-the-scenes spaces. the walk-in freezers, the storage rooms, and the large dumpsters out back. They meticulously examined transaction records and surveillance footage, looking for any anomalies. The investigation was peeling back the layers of normalcy at the restaurant, just as it had at the home, revealing a darker reality. The place that had been the heart of their shared life was now at the center of the search for what had happened to Patty, potentially holding the very secrets that would lead justice to her door. In the sterile, controlled environment of the forensic lab, the seemingly innocuous items collected from the Arts home and restaurant began to tell their silent, damning story. Forensic science became the voice for Patty, providing the irrefutable evidence that human deception could not obscure. The first major breakthrough came from the piece of carpet that had been cut from the bedroom floor. Although Kip had tried to explain it away, laboratory analysis revealed the faint but unmistakable presence of human blood. Further DNA testing confirmed the investigators' worst fears. The blood belonged to Patty Arts. The story of spilled nail polish remover was officially exposed as a lie. The focus then shifted to the evidence gathered from the restaurant. Investigators had meticulously combed through the contents of the business's dumpster, a grim task that proved to be critically important. Buried beneath the everyday refuse of a busy kitchen, they discovered several items that did not belong: a blood-stained mattress pad, and a section of carpet padding. Forensic analysis confirmed that these items matched the bed in the master bedroom and the carpet that had been cut. The blood on the mattress pad was also identified as Patty's. Kip had not disposed of the evidence properly. He had simply moved it from one location to another, creating an undeniable link between the violence in the home and his attempts to clean up at the restaurant. The science of justice extended beyond DNA. Forensic accountants analyzed Kip's financial records and a computer seized from the home. They discovered that in the days following Patty's disappearance, Kip had been searching the internet for information on how to sell a business and the legal implications of a spouse going missing. He had also made inquiries about liquidating their shared assets. These digital footprints revealed a man who was not grieving a missing wife but rather planning a future without her. His actions demonstrated a cold, calculated mindset that was completely at odds with the persona of a worried husband. The culmination of this forensic work was the grim discovery that brought the search for Patty to a heartbreaking end. Acting on a tip and piecing together the timeline of Kip's movements, investigators searched a remote, wooded area miles from town. There, they found human remains. Forensic odontology, the comparison of dental records, confirmed the identity of the victim as Patty Arts. The autopsy revealed the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. The scientific evidence was now complete. It told a clear and tragic story of a violent confrontation in the bedroom, a clumsy attempt to clean the scene, and the disposal of evidence and a body. Justice for Patty was finally within reach. The news of Patty Arts' death and the arrest of her husband Kip sent shockwaves through the tight-knit community of Jackson. The story spread like wildfire, leaving a trail of disbelief and profound sadness. People struggled to reconcile the image of the friendly, hard-working couple they knew with the horrific details emerging from the investigation. The Arts restaurant, once a cherished gathering place, became a grim landmark, its doors closed and its windows dark. Residents gathered in coffee shops and grocery stores, speaking in hushed tones, trying to make sense of a tragedy that felt deeply personal, even to those who only knew the couple by sight. The psychological impact on the community was immense. The case shattered the illusion of safety and predictability that small-town life often affords. If a crime this terrible could happen to a couple as beloved as the Arts, it felt like it could happen to anyone. It forced a painful re-evaluation of friendships and neighborly relationships, planting seeds of doubt and fear. Experts in criminal psychology weighed in, explaining how perpetrators of domestic violence can often maintain a convincing public facade. They spoke of the two faces of an abuser, the charming public persona and the controlling, violent one hidden behind closed doors. For many in Jackson, this was a difficult but necessary lesson in the complexities of human nature. Media coverage of the case was intense, with local and national news outlets descending on Jackson to report on the perfect couple and the dark secret that had led to murder. The narrative was compelling, a story of love, a mysterious change in personality after brain surgery, and a brutal betrayal. Reporters interviewed shocked friends, neighbors, and former employees, all of whom expressed their heartbreak and astonishment. The case became a cautionary tale, broadcast across the country, highlighting the hidden dangers of domestic abuse and the importance of recognizing warning signs no matter how subtle they may seem. The town of Jackson found itself under a national spotlight, its collective grief on public display. In the wake of the discovery, the community's shock slowly gave way to a shared sense of mourning for Patty. Candlelight vigils were held, and makeshift memorials of flowers and cards appeared outside the shuttered restaurant. People remembered her as a kind, gentle soul whose warmth had touched so many lives. The case brought the issue of domestic violence to the forefront of the town's consciousness, prompting conversations and initiatives aimed at raising awareness and providing resources for victims. The disbelief lingered, but it was now coupled with a resolve to honor Patty's memory by learning from the tragedy and fostering a community where such secrets could no longer fester in the dark. With an overwhelming mountain of forensic and circumstantial evidence stacked against him, Kip Arts faced his final reckoning. The web of lies he had so carefully tried to weave had been completely dismantled by diligent police work and the unassailable truths of science. Faced with the DNA evidence, the witness testimonies, and his own damning digital footprint, Kip's defense crumbled. To avoid a lengthy trial and the possibility of a harsher sentence, he ultimately pleaded guilty to the murder of his wife, Patty Arts. His confession brought a somber end to the investigation, finally providing an official answer to the question that had haunted the community for months. Kip was sentenced to a long prison term, a punishment that reflected the brutal and calculated nature of his crime. In his confession, he admitted to striking Patty in the head with a blunt object during an argument in their bedroom, then attempting to cover up the crime. The motive, prosecutors argued, was a desire to escape the marriage and gain full control of their shared assets, a chilling conclusion that stripped away any pretense of a crime of passion. The judge, in delivering the sentence, spoke of the profound betrayal of trust, not only of his wife but of the entire community that had held him in such high regard. The case of Kip and Patty Arts left an indelible mark on Jackson, Michigan, serving as a harsh but vital lesson. It taught the community about the importance of vigilance and the courage to act on suspicion. Patty's friends, who refused to accept Kip's lies, were instrumental in initiating the investigation. Their persistence demonstrated that community watchfulness can be a crucial first line of defense. The case reinforced the sobering reality that domestic violence is not confined to any particular social or economic class, and can exist behind the most respectable of facades. It underscored the importance of looking beyond appearances and being aware of the warning signs of abuse. Ultimately, the tragic story of Patty Arts is a powerful reminder of the hidden dangers that can lurk behind closed doors. It highlights the devastating potential of secrets and the darkness that can grow when left unchecked. While the community of Jackson will forever mourn the loss of a beloved friend and neighbor, the case also stands as a testament to the power of truth. Through the tireless efforts of law enforcement, the precision of forensic science, and the bravery of concerned citizens, justice for Patty was served. Her story endures as a cautionary tale about trust, deception, and the ever-present need for a community to protect its own.